I'm frozen. I'm unfrozen now. If you've been frozen, frozen in time. Sometimes your hairdo's frozen in time. Today's a good hair day. Do you have a moment just to stop and pause and to listen? Yeah, square on my face. SpongeBob SquarePants. Pause and listen and learn about Jesus Christ and His Word, the Word of God, and how you can put it into action. Because it's time to take 5. Is it an upside down day for you too? One day, sooner, very soon, we'll fix that sign. But today, I'm going to talk about one of the words I had for my daughters. It's word 3. I'm doing this just for a series because I wrote them a letter and said if they look on my YouTube channel, they'll be able to find things that match the 5 words I gave them. This is if you stay close to Jesus. I'm going to read it right from this paper because this is how long the letter was. See, I don't write small letters to my daughters. I'm a wordy woman. So I put down, if you look to Jesus, keep your eyes on Jesus, He will teach you to walk on the water. Who can walk on the water? I can. How? Well, I walked for a long time, and daily He teaches you something. Today, I think a lesson was patience. We walked to the water, patience. We went on errands together, my husband and I, better known as Deacon Pat, and we took Mom some places. I don't know, I have a square on my face, but let's just do this. And we also spent time together with Mom eating lunch, and there's been a lot of needs today. See, I'm an intercessor. An intercessor means you pray fervently for people who have needs. Someone's going to wake you up in the middle of the night and says to you, by the way, this person has a need, pray. I remember I was thinking about my friend Pat all week long, and then I found out her brother just died unexpectedly. Sometimes He gives you that little nudge, call a friend. You got to listen. You got to actually do it. So how does He teach you to walk on the water? Well, Jesus Himself walked the water, and He called Peter to get out of the boat. Now, Peter wasn't the smartest guy on the boat. He wasn't the kindest guy on the boat either. He wasn't even the most wealthy guy on the boat. He was a guy who was a fisherman. You know what God did? He taught him to be a fisher of men. But why did He do that? Because Peter was the one of the 12 disciples on the boat who decided that he would get out of that boat and walk on the water. Wow. Think a minute. Would you be that one? That one person that got out of the boat? Gee, I sure hope I would be. I don't even swim. And I surely would want to walk towards Jesus. See, He is the only one I trust in. In God alone, I place my trust. I trust other people to a point, but people can disappoint you. Family members can disappoint you. Spouses can disappoint you. Parents can disappoint you. You can disappoint yourself. That's the worst disappointment of all. It's like, oh, wow, today I disappointed myself. But you know what? Jesus is always there to pick up the pieces and to call you once again, to stand up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. When our little son Sean was little, very little, he was probably 2. We used to call him Bumpers. And we say, they call me Bumpers. He climbs a tree and skins his knee, and we call him Bumpers. And then we go like this. It was Caitlin and I, because Caitlin was the next sibling up. And we go, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. See, I was a singing mom. I was a creative mom. Why was I singing to Sean? Bumpers, my 7th child. I didn't sing to any of the other ones. Sean was not as apt to not fall as they were. He fell a lot. And then he was the baby, so he'd sit there and he'd cry, and I go, they call him Bumpers. He climbs a tree and skins his knee. And we'd do it all day long, Kate and I, till pretty soon Sean wasn't falling anymore. I don't know if it's the joy of hearing his off-key voice or the words bothered him so much that out of pride he said, I'm not falling anymore and not sing that dumb song. But you know what? We also sang to my daddy, my friend Judy Savosky and I, when he's in the hospital dying. We went in, they let us in, and we sang on Eagle's Wings. And we sat there, and the nurse even told us that when we sang, his heart rate went back to normal. Wow, we were surprised. Judy could sing, and I, for sure, as you see, it's up to you all. You decide. And I'll exclaim that I make a joyful noise, let's put it that way. But sometimes in your life, you have to walk in the water, you're forced to. There are situations that set up in your life, and if it's not a choice matter, like you don't have a choice, that you have to get up and get out of the boat and walk towards Jesus. It's that or sink or swim, I guess that's one of the expressions in the world. You need to sink or you need to swim. Me, I don't swim, but you know what? I could dog paddle pretty good. I actually beat my grandchild Elle one time when she was like 3. But you know what? I still keep trying. I pick myself up just like Sean. I dust myself off and I start all over again. Picking yourself up is not easy all the time. I was fortunate enough to go to confession one time to Father Ingram. I tell this story a lot, but it fits in. And girls, if you're listening, my daughters and friends, listen up. I went to confession to him, and he gave me a wise word. I used it in my Christmas letter made 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Time flies. But he said to me when I had a situation about loneliness in a town where I really didn't feel like I fit in, he said, either God will take the cross away or he'll give you the grace to bear it. It seemed like now looking back, it seems like such a small cross to bear the loneliness after all the different trials we have gone through as a couple, as parents, as spouses, and as friends to people. We watch other people's trials and we say, whoa, that was little, but he gives you the grace to bear the trial, or he gives you he takes the cross away. Sometimes we prefer to take the cross away, but we don't know that. Maybe there's another cross coming. He stretches you. You know, when you first are young in the Lord, he gives you little crosses. I heard one gal, Kelly Dolan, say, little people, little crosses. Big people, big crosses. That's parents. Little people, little crosses. Parents that have little ones think that this is super hard. I'm up all night with a baby. And they grow. The crosses are bigger, and the time management gets better. You begin to handle more, just like a muscle when you work out at the gym. First, it's hard to lift 5 pounds, or maybe 4 when they may 2. And then you get up to maybe 10. If you're a strong man, you get up more. Everything about life is a life lesson, teaching you to grow and to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and start all over again. What happened why did Peter sink? Why did Peter begin to drown? He began to drown because he took his eyes off Jesus. See, Jesus is right behind me. I'm watching him, and he's watching me. He sees me, and I see him. You know, that's okay. I love when I was a mother, and Peggy Rose was a mother. She was a delightful sister in the Lord. She had many more children than I did. And she said, when I have a newborn, I sit in my rocking chair and I rock. And I see Jesus, and he sees me, and he knows I'm there. And that was her prayer as a nursing mother, sitting in the rocking chair, being with Jesus. So anyway, so pick yourself up today, dust yourself off today, and start all over again. There's no sin too great. There's no trial too big that Jesus can't teach you to walk on the water. But it involves getting out of the boat. You can't just sit there and complain. A lot of people like to do that. I'm in that category. When I have a new trial, I just sit there and complain. I go, whoa, this can't be bearing good fruit. We have a no gripe zone in our home. Most of the time I go, let's not be on the negative. It just wears me out. It makes you tired. If you stay on the positive, like think of all the happy things, the things that you did in a day that were grateful and good, you'll be picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and starting all over again. I guess one of my favorite movies of the whole wide world was Sound of Music. And that's why she said the song, My Favorite Things, you know. You think about the favorite things in your life. Raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens. It helps you remember that the good is coming. And if it's a trial you're in, a pit you can't get out of. Think about Joseph, who had brothers that were jealous of his coat of many colors. He couldn't help it. I'm wearing a coat of many colors today myself. He couldn't help it that his dad liked him best. But his brothers were very jealous, and they put him in a pit. But you know what? That pit that Satan meant for evil, God meant for good. He worked out for the good in such a way that his brothers had to say, wow, that's unbelievable. And they turned to his brother for help. Guess what Joseph did? Did he get back at them and scream and yell and say, you fool, you put me in a pit? No, he prayed for them and he blessed them. People, that's what we need to be doing for one another. There's a lot of trials out there, bigger than loneliness. There's a lot of trials out there, bigger than we ever thought would ever happen to us and our families. Let's pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and start all over again. Let's pick others up, dust them off, and start all over again. I just wrote a letter to one of the people that was a president's wife. It was on the other team. I'm not on the team with the person, but I said, okay, the other team. And my mom and I call it teams because she's on the other team too. And right now we're praying for our team to win coming up. But I said, you know, we need to pray for unity in our country. We need to pray for peace and joy and things like, no matter who we believe and what party we're for, because that's the right thing to do. We know that. We all know that. If you're a grown up, you know that in a family, even, getting along is the best way to do it. Getting along makes it easier, happier, joy filled. Saving our country. Start small, moms and dads. Let peace reign in your country, in your home, and pick yourself up when things go wrong. Dust yourself off when you fall and start over again. Will that be with a smile, a word of kindness? And don't forget to pray for those who hate you and all the people that are hurting you. God sees everything that goes on, and He has, well, hold it's very, very good, especially in the area of this. Picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and starting all over again. Have a great day. That's going to be my title. That's what I think. Have a good day. Ooh, I'm ringing.